Today's video is sponsored by our good friends at Famous Faces and Funnies, located in Melbourne, Florida. Check out their online Facebook auctions for comics and games. Along with our friends at EGS Expert Grading Services, the place to get your comics graded. Check out our custom labels, shipping nationwide. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Codename New to Vero 2. Hi, I'm your presenter, Shabu Are You. Well, IDW continues delivering fan service with yet again another reprint of a yearbook, yearbook number 4. As I mentioned in last episode, there's been some inkling that HASBRO, the IDW team, hence Larry Hama, have not been working as a functional unit in the sense that they're not listening to the ideas that Mr. Hama has been coming up with, which is a big mistake because Larry Hama and the IDW team is on fire, delivering new storylines that are relevant today and in the future of G.I. Joe. Now, before I dive in to cover this wonderfully done presentation of this important yearbook that often gets overlooked, the fact of the matter is that it seems like HASBRO doesn't really know what to do with G.I. Joe. And all you guys out there know, I mean, we just had that Sky Striker HasLab project. It just seems like they're throwing things. It failed Snake Eyes movie that failed to capture the audience, and I think terrible timing with Shang-Chi coming, like a better version of the same thing coming out. There's been a lot of fumbles, so to speak, with how Hasbro is handling this property, and you could tell that they want to do something, and the answer is Larry freaking Hama. He's the one who's presenting characters, new ideas that are going to hit home in today's world and appeal to today's youth. And guys, I've been saying it and for the longest time on not only this channel but across the G.I. Joe community, the future of G.I. Joe is to appeal to a younger audience, somehow those core values that we love and cherish as far as G.I. Joe's diversity, coming together as a collective unit to defeat the greater evil and preserve the greater good, still holds merit. And we see that when we turn on the freaking news. Larry Hama has been doing an exceptional job. Also, the IDW team, which I've gotten to know during the course of creating these videos. I've spoken to many of the people in the front office, and they are legitimate fans, not people that are looking at graphs and charts and or focus groups and all that bullshit. I know one particular person has a life size of Duke in her home, is a big Duke fan, and it shows for what they've been doing recently. And also, a lot of people have been reaching out to me with the news that, you know, IDW may be losing all the Hasbro licenses. I'm talking about Transformers, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, to Robert Kirkman's production company. I'm not going to speculate too much on that, but that is a big factor in all of this. So G.I. Joe's future is kind of in flux, so to speak. But the point I've been trying to make to all of you fans out there, fellow fans out there, is the support of the IDW and Hama team. Whether it be Twitter or Facebook, make Hasbro realize that, hey, incorporate their ideas. That's the G.I. Joe we want to leave for the next generation. And I'm talking from my heart here. I really think that I've been more than impressed with all the recent storylines, and as an analyst and stuff, I could see what their end game is, what they're trying to do. They're trying to preserve this for future generations. They're doing their part. And unlike the Marvel G.I. Joe run, where they were, Hasbro has been kind of which was great for Larry Hama because he's been free to give us the stories we always wanted during the Marvel run. but been told, hey, we need to bring in, you know, this character or this vehicle needs to be incorporated in this storyline. You know, so now Larry Hama he's not forced to do all that. He's been given that freedom. But that's the other flip side of the coin, is that they're not working as a cohesive unit and incorporating ideas for G.I. Joe's future. So like I said, IDW has been delivering excellent fan service for the past year by doing key reprints of iconic issues. And a lot of people out there have written to me asking, hey, I want to start collecting G.I. Joe comics again. What's the best way? And I've been highly recommending going with the IDW reprints. You know, we got a reprint of Yearbook #1, which essentially is Lady Doomsday issue #1. Also Yearbook #2, Yearbook #3, and now we're going to look at Yearbook #4. But in between, they have reprinted iconic issues like 26 and 27, the silent issue, which is a complete silent issue that there's issue #21, and then there's a 21.B that's basically, I think, Jeremy Tinsdale. No, not Jeremy Tinsdale. Another illustrator that kind of gave you a full complete, giving you the complete silence is what that book was called. Beautifully done, excellent presentation, and in the wonderful high quality paper. So the whole presentation of these reprints have been extraordinary and highly recommended. And the cool thing is, like, they've been doing their part in delivering fan service and also appealing to a younger audience. Like, hey, this is pretty cool. Check out these issues. Now, when we talk about Yearbook #3, it goes without saying that how important this yearbook was that people often forget about. It is the precursor to the iconic Cobra Civil War. So getting this and then diving into, I guess, 73 all the way to 77 of the Marvel run is, I think, a complete story of the Civil War. It's beautifully done. The other bonus that people may have forgotten is that Herb Trimpe is the illustrator. And I've mentioned what a big Herb Trimpe fan and how I think modern comics are doing a great disservice by not giving this man his proper due. I mentioned in other episodes that it was Herb Trimpe who did the iconic Hulk 181 cover, the first appearance of Wolverine. Herb Trimpe, if he came out in the 90s, he would be in the same status, rock star status, as Todd McFarlane, as Jim Lee, as Rob Liefeld. I mean, those guys like George Perez, all these 80 artists, like, I feel bad for them because they really should be on the Mount Rushmore. And it's modern comics, big black eye by not giving these artists their due respect. And I think that's another reason why us old guys need to get back into comics, is to preserve their legacy going forward. We need to teach these younger people that, hey, Todd McFarlane is great, Jim Lee is great, but hey, they were inspired by these guys. So it's good to see, like, Herb Trimpe's name on anything. It just brings a nice smile to my face. And again, like I said, this is a precursor to the Cobra Civil War. And again, this is a unique cover page. They do have in the back, I'll show you when we go through it, the original Yearbook #4 cover, but inside is just a whole bunch of extra goodies. They've been doing this continuously, and it's why I recommend old school fans, new school fans, to go to their local comic shop and pick up these issues. You're supporting Larry Hama. You're supporting IDW. You're making your voices heard by saying, hey, more of this, please. As I mentioned, Yearbook #4 is often overlooked. It is a very important issue, as it is basically setting up the iconic Cobra Civil War. It is here where we begin to see where all the key characters align themselves, notably Cobra. We also revisit the October Guard, which haven't been seen for quite some time. Now, this issue starts off pretty much like the first issue of Special Missions does. You have Wetsuit Torpedo out in the ocean facing off the October Guard. But in reality, the Special Missions came out in October of '86 when yearbook number 4 came out in February 1988. So like I've been doing with all of these wonderful IDW reprints, I'm just going to quickly go through the issue just to highlight some things and why every fan should pick these up. Again, this is a tribute to IDW staff. I mean, I've been saying how much excellent fan service they're giving us as readers. It's just so nice and welcoming to see what they're doing, and I'm just grateful for it. And I hope you guys are too. And like I've been saying, with a lot of people reaching out to me asking, hey, I want to get back into collecting the G.I. Joe comics, these are the better alternatives. And I think, I mean, look at this paper quality. It's just phenomenally done. And it's a lot better, of course, than the original paper, but it's just a nice presentation of this. And while I'm flipping through the issue, I'll be having pictures on the side of the original yearbook one. And, there's really not much. They've just been doing such a good job. I've been picking up every single one of these reissues because even though I have the Marvel one, the old one, it's just nice to the feel of the paper. It is just, this is no small task. This is a labor of love that the staff does. And I just want to say thank you. But the only interesting about this issue, and here we go right here, I'm putting up the panels. You see those fireworks? Yeah. Baroness is hooking up with this Fred. Destro was pissed, I bet. But, it just shows you that Baroness has her own attentions and agendas. And that's why her character is so captivating and interesting. It's not just a pretty face. She is out there with her own intentions and motives and trying to take advantage of the situation. The other funny thing when you revisit this is Crocmaster. The fact is has alligators, and me being a Floridian, I've had my fair share of dealing with alligators. It's funny when people up north come down to visit, they have this thing, but alligators are, they pretty much will leave you alone. If you have to be really dumb to get attacked by an alligator. It's just funny when I have friends and family coming down. They do the Orlando Disney stuff, but real Florida is when you're down here in the marsh and the swamps and dealing with all this stuff. You got two elements. You got beachside for us, and then we got the forest, and then we got the swamps. But again, going back to this issue, it's just a wonderfully done presentation. I like revisiting the stories, and it makes diving into the Cobra Civil War that much more fun. And I cannot understate that this is such a vital issue, and it gets overlooked. I don't know why. Nice pictures of, you got the Mamba and the Moray. Just wonderfully done detail. And like I said, the big thing with this is you have the team up of Larry Hama and Herb Trimpe. And because I've been doing this for the community for so long, the appreciation for Herb has grown tenfold. I mentioned that he was the artist that did the iconic cover for Hulk 181, the first appearance of Wolverine. And that book is in the, I've been selling the low 45K to like 100K. That price has gone to just skyrocket. And the other wonderful thing about revisiting these yearbooks, and again, this is the same, just it's a reprint of the original one, is revisiting that year in G.I. Joe in terms of the comics. So you get all the little blurbs, like Mainframe shows his true colors. Remember that issue where that a local boy thought he was a wimp because he was a computer nerd, but in fact, he's a badass just because he's working on computers. So this Mainframe is like the hero to all the nerds in IT, what have you, that they could do computers and kick butt. Again, Billy's story, how he's going down the path of the ARAH Recaps. This was a very important year in G.I. Joe. And I think this was at the zenith. If you looked at issue 1 to 155, this is when G.I. Joe has reached its zenith. And that's what makes revisiting this that much better. So I've been doing these little recaps of the IDW offerings since the get-go. And I'm telling everybody, if you could, go to your LCS or order it online. These are definitely must-haves. They're just that important. And, you know, what we had yearbook number 1, we had issue number 21 and 21.5 that a lot of fans don't know about, that gives you the full 360 degrees of that iconic issue. I think that's a wonderful package. And that's what actually started all of these IDW reprints. And then, of course, your reprint of issue number 26 and 27, and with the origin of Snake Eye's story. So again, this is why I recommend to the fans that this is the best way to capture those key issues of G.I. Joe without having to go on eBay or you know, hunt down your local comic shops in the back bins. If you're inclined to, yeah, go ahead. But if you're looking for the one, I mean, I'm an analyst and auditor by trade, so the most cost-effective and best way to achieve your goal is the most efficient way to go about doing it, and this is what IDW is giving the fans. I cannot thank them enough. And again, the cover of this is an original cover, and you see the original cover and then the new updated one that IDW. And this artist, Dan Sahorning, I think if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's been doing a couple issues already, and I really like his artwork. It's the closest thing to the Real American Hero cartoon, so that's the aesthetic of it. And I know they're going to be, IDW has announced that they're going to continue the Real American Hero cartoon line, so that's something to look forward to. I think back in 2019, they did picking up right after the G.I. Joe, the movie, and they gave us like a little preview of what's to come. I've been told that that has been put in the back burner, and that's why we didn't see it in 2020. A lot of fans have reached out to me and asking me, hey, when they're going to release this issue? And that was what my sources told me over in the IDW front office. So I guess they decided to just go ahead and continue the cartoon series, so that is going to be something to look forward to if you are more inclined to the cartoons. Remember, the cartoons and the comic books don't always like match up. So, of course, old school fans know about that. Well, anyway, I thought that this would be a nice little showcase of what another IDW's fan service. And I have to thank IDW, all the people that have been so kind and talked to me and given me the heads up on things so I could share with all of you. But this is definitely, and I've been saying it over and over again, but picking up these issues is definitely worth it. Now, if you're not a regular, I thought I'd just give you a quick review of what I featured in earlier episodes, and this is what I'm talking about. It all started off with this, and again, I have each episode on the channel if you want to watch that. If you want to watch a complete recap of everything I'm showing, check out our good friends HCC788, Timmer from Half the Battle, and Form BX257. They handled the Marvel run while I'm basically handled the IDW aspect of G.I. Joe Real American Hero. But this is the Complete Silence, the issue I was telling you about, 21 and 21.5. So I think this one often gets overlooked. But again, it's that wonderful presentation. And then the next thing offering was yearbook number 1, which essentially is a reprint of issue number 1. And then we have, is this yearbook 3? This is yearbook number 3. Yeah, this is yearbook number 3. And then we have issue number 26 and 27, Snake Eyes, The Origin. Again, all of these offerings are available. Just go either on IDW's website or contact your LCS for them. I still think that you could find these in your comic shop, so they'll probably be in the back bins. But again, guys, it's a no-brainer here. These are definitely, if you're looking forward to get some key issues and getting it in this high quality paper. Wonderful presentation. You can't go wrong here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, this is ShaBoo. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And we're going to cover, I think, 288 coming up, issue recap of 288. Oh, no. The next one, unfortunately, is going to be the Rob Liefeld issue. If you followed me covering the Rob Liefeld disastrous Snake Eyes thing, well, he's released another edition, basically talking about his notes and stuff. So it's a complete companion issue. So we get to see what the hell Rob Liefeld was thinking when he wrote that shit show. So, like I said, the best way I could sum up the Rob Liefeld Snake Eyes comic series was it was a clusterfuck. So I guess the only thing I could do is make the commentary hilarious. So if you haven't, also check those out. And stay tuned for that. This is ShaBoo signing off. Have a good one.